What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Big Dog Brett, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and send it to your mama and them. What's going on, everybody? Sorry, we've been a little busy around here. Let's see who we got in here. Let's see. Between the Trenches, what's going on, sir? Glad to have you back. Nicholas Thompson, DC Vlogs LSU, Jacob E. Up. What's up, sir? Michael Porter, another one of our resident members, along with Between the Trenches. Dylan Sweeney, how you doing, sir? Samuel Pate, always glad to have you here. Nate, the hopeful Wolverine fan. If you're a Wolverine fan, and you are now, you have to be hopeful. Began Megan says, Big Dog, let's do it. Probably a poor choice of words, given my reputation. Maybe not. Depends on your reputation. What's going on, C-Dog West? All right, so for those of you that are always the first out of the gate, I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm working with a limited setup. I actually tried to start the stream at 9 o'clock, and due to technical difficulties, it got pushed to 9:30. So here we are. All right, so we got some fun stuff to talk about. Gus Malzahn going to UCF. Which Gus Malzahn is solely responsible for their national championship status. I'm just going to go ahead and point that out for you. But somehow they thought, hey, let's get that guy in here. Gus Malzahn has to be the greatest salesman of all time. He just has to be. So got another exciting announcement for you guys. Been telling you guys for a long time we were going to get some merch up. Finally got some merch up. A big shout out to Web Pain. He done all the designs. He even made some adjustments. You guys can obviously see the new logo, the new avatar here. I'm going to show you the avatar real quick. That's the avatar. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I thought it was hilarious. I mean, I think it's just great. So I'm digging it. But he went ahead and put together some other stuff for us, some graphic web stuff that we were able to actually put on t-shirts and hoodies and coffee cups. So going to go ahead and give you guys the link to that now. It's also in the about description for the page. You guys can go check that out. If you care to support the channel and you would like to support some Big Dog Brett gear, there you go. You have it. Feel free to get all you want. I'm going to be ordering some samples pretty soon. Trenches was the very first person to pick something out on the store, so hats off to him. He will always be my first. And just to let you know. What's going on, Keith? How you doing, sir? Thank you so much for joining the channel. And there's the man of the hour right there, Mr. Web Pain. That guy over right about there, Mr. Web Pain. Thank you so much for putting everything together for me. He is amazing. So thank you so much. Couldn't do this without you guys. You guys are the best. And really the reason that I continue to do the show is for you guys. I enjoy doing the show, but without you guys, it would just be me talking to a camera on the wall. So, yeah. Daniel Rivera says, show Big Dog Brett some love. Go Dogs. Excited about the upcoming season. Just going to let you guys know the gear that's out there. I think it takes about 2 weeks once you order it. It's ordered through Teespring. Teespring handles everything. If you guys have a problem, you can more than welcome. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to reach out to Teespring myself. But they have a pretty good reputation as far as taking care of their customers. I simply don't have the cash flow to go out and buy boxes of T-shirts and hoodies and send those to somewhere to a screen printing press and then come back and check it and then send it over. And then get with you guys and get a payment thing set up and then get that paid and then get it shipped out. And just let Teespring handle it. It's what they do. They've done it for tons of people. They do a pretty good job. So, and no, they're not paying me. I know I'm not on a step mill. So, all right, guys. So a lot of stuff out there in the works. I do want to, while I've got you guys on here, I'm going to try. This is a try word here. I'm going to try and share my screen since I have two screens here. Michael Porter says thumbs up. I couldn't concur more, sir. Absolutely appreciate it. For those of you who are watching the show, I'm going to share this screen. I know some of you guys watch it in the off when it's not live, and you kind of listen to it in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen now for you guys. I'm going to bring it in for you. As you can see here on the screen, there is the coffee cup. The coffee cup is two-sided. I want to show you guys this. So if you click on the coffee cup, You can actually see it as a front and a back. I think this is absolutely hilarious. I love it, dude. I also tried to be very picky about the quality of the gear that we put out. These logos and everything are absolutely because of Web Pain. Again, just can't say enough about that guy. Really appreciate him. He put in all this work. Wouldn't take any money. Just absolutely wouldn't. As you guys can see, there's zip ups. Things come in multiple colors, front, back. So this is a soft tee, not a soft tee, excuse me. This is a soft hoodie, and there's also a t-shirt. And as you can see, they have different colors, different, whatever you prefer. Feel free to go through it. There was even a couple of shirts I put in here for the ladies, as it were. So don't be fooled by the title. Some of this stuff says zip up. It's not a zip up. Here is a woman's or ladies, women's, or anybody. If you want to buy it, buy it. Got some pink, some black, some blue, green, all kind of fun stuff. So there is plenty of opportunity for you guys to reach out. All of the stuff that I got, as you can see, multiple designs. But I wanted to show you guys this. I made this just for trenches. This is a pair of leggings. This is a pair of sweats. We would really like you guys to look at this. If you need something to laugh about, you can buy this and send it to one of your friends. This is this is ridiculous. I thought it was hilarious. I love it. I absolutely thought it was just the funniest thing. One more, I think I want to show you guys one more thing here. Oh yeah. So there's the neck gaiter. If you got, for those of you that wear the mask in certain environments, you have to wear them. You can wear this if you ever wanted a beard like mine, a face only a mother could love, and these juicy cheeks, as he says. I have fat man dimples, so it is what it is. So get you some of that. And there are multiple different designs on hoodies, t-shirts. They're not just black and gray. We have blues, greens, reds, whatever color you prefer. All right. And this hoodie right here is probably my favorite. This is the kind of the tagline that we've had here at the show for forever. If I can get over here to it. Here we go. So it does come in black. I also did a red for those of you who like red. There's a white and a gray. So you guys feel free to go check that stuff out. Plenty of gear over there. And that's enough of the shameless plugging for now. I'm about to make myself sick. So there's that. So if you want to go over there and get you a coffee cup, I'm going to be ordering some samples. I tried to keep the prices as low as I possibly could. Most of the stuff on Teespring, they charge you a flat rate. And then anything over that, like it's an upcharge. I kept all those prices as far down as I could. For some reason, the gear for women is they just charge more for it on a baseline. But I took more off to put a bigger discount on that stuff so that it was the same price or close to the same price as the regular men's gear. So if you guys want some work done, web design, reach out to Web Pain. He is absolutely phenomenal. He whipped this stuff up in no time, or at least it felt like no time. Really, really nice guy to work with. So go see Web Pain. If you want to put an email address or a website or whatever it is you have, sir, where people can reach you, feel free to put it in there. I'll be glad to tell people on the show. Okay. Feel free to hook yourselves up on the site, guys. Yeah, it is what it is. All right. So of course we've got to talk about Gus Malzahn. What is Gus Malzahn doing at UCF? Well, it's really hard to say. Gus Malzahn was named the new head football coach about a day ago, and 3 hours ago he calls for an expansion to the playoffs. Well, of course he's going to do that because he knows there's almost no chance of them getting in. They went undefeated, so obviously that would be difficult for them to do. UFC hired Gus Malzahn, signing him to a 5-year, $11.5 million contract. And they're really hoping that it's his offensive background that will help him kind of get that program maybe more reputable. Oh, by the way, Webb, I'm going to be I'm going to be touting you and patting you and plugging you for forever. So you're just going to have to deal with that. I agree with you, Keith. I think it was an excellent hire for UCF. They needed a big name at that college to, for lack of a better term, make them more relevant. Being a coach that's undefeated. Oh, thanks, Webb. I appreciate the membership, sir. Being a head coach at UCF and being undefeated was really saying more about the coach than it was about the team. So this has started to move UCF in the right direction. UCF is now able to say, hey, we have a championship caliber team and we have a coach who has beat Alabama before. Now, granted, he doesn't beat them all the time. I mean, he's not beating them every weekend, but I appreciate it, Wayne. Webb, appreciate you having you here. They'll have a good offense for sure, but the question is what kind of talent is he going to be able to pull in? Gus Malzahn is not known as an outstanding recruiter. So what kind of talent he's going to be able to pull, I'm not sure. Keith says they haven't been the best team in Florida in the past few years until 2020. Well, in all honesty, it didn't take much to be the best team in Florida. They kind of seem to round robin it. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that FSU was the best team in Florida. So, yeah, Megan says, on the ladies' gear, anything a little more skimpy. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it, right? Feel free to take a pair of scissors to the tank tops. Do what you want to do. It's if it shows up at your door, it's yours as far as I'm concerned. So the Gus Malzahn going to UCF is going to be really good for that program. It'll definitely give them the opportunity to say that they're much, much more relevant. Now, this comes as a heck of a pay cut for Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn in 2017 signed a 7-year, $49 million contract, which is ridiculous, and was owed $21.7 million buyout when he was fired in December. Per the terms of his contract, he received half of that money within 30 days and will receive the rest in equal annual installments over the next 4 years. So if you take 21, you cut it in half, that's $11 million, right? So they gave him 11. Well, we'll just say it's $22 million. Well, they gave him $11 million up front, and then they split $11 million over 4 years. So roughly a little less than $3 million per year. So he's making somewhere around, if my math is correct, $400,000 a month paycheck from Auburn. $300,000, $200,000. I can't math for that, but a lot of freaking money. Then he goes and signs another check. He's getting another check from UCF. Now, the memo is an understanding between UCF. Hold on. That is regardless of whatever he does with UCF. The understanding between UCF and Malzahn is if he accepts another college or professional football coaching before December 31st, 2021, he will owe a $7 million buyout. The number drops to $5 million if he leaves before December 22, $3 million if he leaves 23, $2 million if he leaves 21, and then $500,000 if he leaves 04. All of these coaches' contracts are getting infinitely more complex as time goes by. What is GT? What's going on, GT? Samuel Pate, what's up with the spam, brother? I'm not sure. But yeah, so Gus Malzahn takes a job at UCF for $12 million and didn't even make a phone call to Tennessee. So what does that say about Tennessee? I don't know. To get the GT fans, oh Lord. I think he had a stroke. What are you talking about, Lou? How about the reporter asking Gus if he was aware of the pressure cooker situation he was coming into at UCF? The dude was a coach at Auburn, and UCF is a pressure cooker. Yeah, Gus Malzahn has lived under constant pressure since he's since he's been there forever. Oh, he's talking about he thinks Samuel Pate had a stroke. That's because he kept typing GT. Gus for the nerds job is good. Anywhere Gus Malzahn goes, I'm not worried about him. being a coach. Georgia owns him like they bought him at the Goodwill. Georgia beats the brakes off of him. I wish they would have kept Malzahn, just like I wish South Carolina would have kept Muschamp. They might beat us every now and then, but they're never going to beat us on a consistent basis. Okay, so, obviously we got to talk about Demetrius Robertson. My goodness. Demetrius Robertson goes out and does something just ridiculous. Why? Don't know. He's been arrested and released on the charge of stealing a freaking parking boot on a 2017 Dodge Charger SXT between February 5th and the morning of February 8th. Interference of government property is a felony. UGA police listed the value of the original boot and said it had possible damage as $725. He was released on a $1,000 bond an hour later to the Henry County Sheriff's Office. For those of you who don't know, Henry County is south of McDonough, Georgia, which is just as you're getting into Atlanta. The $725 is probably just what I don't know how he got it off. Maybe he damaged it trying to pry it off or something, but it's a freaking parking boot. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit ridiculous. But it is not of the caliber of smoking weed and jumping out of windows like some UGA players have been accused of in the past, or being passed out in a car, or some of the other ridiculous things we've had in the offseason. It is still dumb. But I don't know why in the world he felt like he had to do that. That was just college kids being college kids. A lot of people have done worse. I think I've done worse at some point or another. But to say that this is some outlandish crime against humanity, he wasn't smacking anybody around, Mr. Simmons. I don't. When Simmons got in trouble, when he got accused of assaulting that female, I was one of the first ones to get him off the team. Don't want him. But vandalism of a parking boot, I mean, they're going to charge a guy with a felony, which ain't going to stick. There's a lot of things there that probably got some video footage or something, and he's probably just going to cop a plea deal, and it'll be community service, and he'll get a slap on the wrist or whatever, and then he'll be on with it. This comes out like a day after he says that he was going to come back as a senior, like fifth-year senior or something at UGA. But the thing is that Demetrius Robertson really wasn't a prevalent factor at Georgia last year. I mean, he only had 12 catches all season for 110 yards. He's not George Pickens, or at least he doesn't seem to be like George Pickens. I don't know why, but really excited about this man. Yeah, Holloman. Excuse me. You're right. Not Simmons, Holloman. J.J. Holloman. At least he wasn't signing his own Peach Bowl jersey for a fan. Am I right? I don't know, man. I feel like UCF is probably going to make the playoffs now. I don't know about that, man. That's a stretch. Wait. Are you mean like the playoffs in like their own conference? Maybe they have a playoff in their conference. I'm not sure. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, there actually is like some spring ball coming up for some of these JUCO schools. If you guys want to watch that, I'd give you something to watch in off season. I don't know how much of it's going to be televised, but the JUCO stuff can be fun to watch because those guys really do get out there and try. Watching some of the JUCO stuff is a lot like watching a cross between some good high school players, a bunch of bad high school players, and a couple of kids going through like rehab, like talented players, but got some problems, whether it's academics or whether it's behavioral issues or whatever. So JUCO ball can be fun to watch sometimes. Sometimes it's just mind-numbingly boring because the quarterbacks can't hit the broadside of a barn. But sometimes it's really good. So, who knows? I'm going to go ahead and throw the invite out. I thought I did that already, but apparently I did not. If you'd like to join the show, feel free. Hit StreamYard. Love to have you guys on the show. You guys are always fun. So jump right in. Ooh, got a picture from my uncle. Oh my goodness. I don't know if Lou is still in here, but coming up on I think March the 6th, we're doing Slob Olympics. I had planned on attending that, so I got to get hooked up with Lou to get all that lined up. He's having a lot of people come in from out of town. I believe he already reserved his room a while back. I know it's supposed to be him, BVD. I think Celine Driver's going to be there. Chess Hall's going to be there, I believe. What's up, P Digits? Like on the way in. I don't know what that means, P Digits. I think Salito's going to be there. I don't know if Law Tide's going to be there. I don't know if there's a bunch of people that's going to be there. I think a lot of those guys are getting hotel rooms because they live so far away. I don't live incredibly far from Atlanta. I certainly don't live far enough to justify getting a hotel room. So I'll probably show up for the night and then later night go home. But yeah, I'm going to hang out with those guys or try to anyway. So yeah. What's going on, P Digits? How you doing, sir? Glad to have you here. Megan says, let's face it, D-Rob looked around the somebody says South Carolina sucks. Let's see what we get here. D-Rob looked around the wide receiver room and realized that he was the only way he was getting his name in the paper. That may be true. Tyreek Stevens, though. So how you doing there, South Carolina sucks? Go Tigers.
Doing good.
So who is this, by the way?
It's your old boy Samuel.
What's going on, sir? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Bama must not have good podcasts. They're always on UGA podcast. Speaking of podcasts, me and Trenches are doing a podcast called Third and a Mile. Pretty soon we're going to have Keith on it. You can find it on Spotify, Google Play, or whatever the places that you find podcasts, you can find it there. So go over there and check out Between the Trenches. He has a web show now that he's doing. They're covering some college and pro stuff. I really don't get into the pro very much. But yeah, so go check out the podcast and go check out his channel. I think he's at like 22 subscribers. I think he's trying to get to 100 before the season starts. So if you guys go over there and sub him up, he's got really good content. Work with him a lot. And he's really coming along. He's building his show. Yeah, we'll get Keith involved and see if he wants to show up for the Slob Olympics. Apparently, they've got some stuff that we want to do. Like, I don't know, I think donut eating contest might be one of the things. I'm not exactly sure. For those of you who don't know, which would be probably almost all of you, I have changed jobs to a new job, so my schedule may be a bit different. So yeah, go check those out. Between the Trenches did post a video on Gus today, and I went over there and checked that out. It's good stuff.
Hey, if there's a Gamecock fan in here, if there's not a Gamecock fan in here, please don't get a Gamecock fan, or I'll be in big trouble.
I didn't know that Gamecocks had any fans, sir. I thought they had victims. People that were forced to root for them because they hate Clemson.
I hate South Carolina.
Brandon Lee says, hey, big dog, haven't seen you since season, man. Congrats on the new job. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Everything seemed to work out pretty good for us as far as the transition to the new job. So really excited about that. Yeah. Apollo Man says, Ree! I don't know what that means, but I had to put that out there for you. Congrats, Brett. Best to the new venture. Yeah, I actually get to wear a suit and tie now. So we'll leave it at that. Webpaint says, subscribe to Trenches. You should also. If you're not, go check him out. Oh, I think your camera's working, or it was.
Oh, it is working.
Okay. So yeah, there's as far as college football news, it looks like who was I watching? Somebody's actually starting practice like in March 6th. Who was that? Was it Clemson?
I don't even know, actually. I'm pretty sure. I heard that Dabo Swinney has COVID. Well,
Did you really?
He had COVID like a week ago, I heard of.
Huh. I'll have to check into that. I'm not sure.
I'm
I
pretty sure he's
mean,
better now. I'm pretty sure he's out of quarantine and all that stuff.
yeah, I typed in Dabo, and like the third thing that popped up was Dabo swinging COVID. January 26, 2021, is Clemson football coach Dabo. That's asking if he's had. January 26, Clemson's Dabo swinging at Florida State. That's old. I don't see anything on that. So, yeah, maybe old, maybe alternative news there. High dollar Brett suit up. Hey man, everything I got from the Goodwill. Between the trenches says Brett can't wait to see Florida. Amazing spring game. Is it Florida that's doing the spring game soon? I think it is Florida. I think Florida's having.
Yeah, I think Florida's doing it around April. I'm pretty sure.
Let me see. Gators begin practice Thursday. That was 2 days ago. So they'll begin practice tomorrow, but no spring game this year. And then Florida AD Scott Strickland explains why they won't have a spring game. In the meantime, Georgia has confirmed that they are going to have a spring game. Hey, Sarah, you snuck in here on me. I almost missed you.
I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm kind of threatening me.
Threatened you? What?
The chat kind of threatened me there for a sec.
Oh man, you got to toughen up, man. This is college football. They don't mean nothing personal.
I'm just looking at the chat. What's up, Sarah?
Let's see. According to reports from UGA Sports 2021, Georgia football spring game will take place on April 17th. The G-Day spring game is set for Saturday. I don't really have a time listed yet that I can find. They're going to be at Sanford Stadium. Now, what I do know is that they are going to have limited seatings. 2 years in a row, Mullen's wife goes home frustrated. Almighty. UGA is going to have fans at the spring game, but they're going to be spaced out. So what does that mean if you plan on going to the game? It means get there early. That's what it means. A lot of times people get to that game and it's, everybody kind of waddles in. And I've been to the G-Day game after Kirby Smart came to UGA. There was probably close to 100,000 people there. I mean, we were at max capacity. The announcers were on the radio, on the PA system, telling people to scoot in to get in as many people as we could. There were people that were still standing in the walkways or whatever you want to call them, the pavilions, and there were people standing in the in the concession stands. And it got to a point where they actually stopped letting people in the gate. That's how many people were there. I think the last couple of spring games I went to, even the one where it rained, I think it was not last year before last because they didn't have last year, but I think we were at like 40 or 50,000 capacity and it was raining. I mean, it was like legitimately raining. It wasn't pouring, but it was raining. We were still there. I would suspect that this one will probably be full. So if you're planning on going to the G-Day game, make sure that you get there early. Keith says, I wonder if it's first come, first serve. Might have to be there early as hell. Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be the case. Probably going to leave my house pretty early to to get there to make sure I get my seat. So, yeah.
Was it snowing in Georgia today?
I'm sorry?
Was it snowing in Georgia today?
There were places in Georgia that it snowed today, but it wasn't very much, and it was mostly North Georgia. There were a few places west of us in Alabama that got quite a bit of snow. Sarah says, my family beat COVID. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's that thing has really did a number on some people, so I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. C-Dog West says he will be at the spring game. If you guys want to meet me, you probably don't have much to do in your life. But if you want to meet me, I will be at the spring game. I may be standing outside the gate, but I'm going to be there. So
wait, when's spring game?
April 17th, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, P. Digit says congrats on Athens for moving forward. I bet there will be quite a line waiting for the gates to open. I can almost certainly guarantee it. I'll probably be doing temperature checks. I'm not sure what the policy is, but in most recent years, or every year I've been, me and Keith usually go down to the hedges and take a couple of pictures. I don't know if they're going to let us do that. I don't know what the rules are going to be. Trenches said, "I'll be there in my skin tight big dog Brett butt cheek leggings." Those are a pair of sweats, man. They're actually a pair of sweats. But for you, they might be. You get extra small, you might be good to go.
Sea Dog's gonna go to the Georgia spring game.
What's that?
Sea Dog's gonna go to the Georgia spring game.
Yeah.
He went to visit the Georgia campus there a day ago.
I've walked around that campus a couple of times. It's actually a beautiful campus. What's going on, Ballard?
I like the campus.
Yeah, I like that campus. The thing about, in my opinion, of the Georgia campus is it seems kind of homey because it has a lot of big oak trees and stuff on the campus. It makes it seem while you're walking it seems smaller than it really is. The campus is freaking huge. Keith said, "I read they were requiring masks everywhere inside the stadium except when you're in your seats." I would probably bet that's right, Keith. And then I would also say that they already have the seat back set up just like they did at the game. So when you get there, you got to sit in those. Everything's spaced out to get in as many people as they can. Now they said that the stadium was at 20 to 25% capacity. A lot of people would disagree. Apparently, Georgia had went out and done some study of acoustics and all this other stuff on how to put people and where to put them so to get the maximum amount of noise from the way people were spread out. So that was pretty cool to see that. What's going on, Ballard?
Hey, what's up, man?
Same shirt, different day, my man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had my volume down. How you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
I've been doing pretty well, man. Kind of sucks that college football is over, but if you're someone like me who loves stuff like March Madness coming up, baseball season, still some other great sports to look forward to. But hey, man, it's going good.
I'm really excited, honestly, in the meantime, for the Braves to start back up. So
they'll be good.
The interesting thing about the Braves is that the Braves is a Georgia-based team that pulls fans from all around. Right, so we get obviously Georgia fans or Braves fans, or South Carolina fans that are Braves fans, or Alabama fans that are Braves fans. I'm pretty sure there's some Tennessee fans that are Braves fans. So it's pretty interesting to see how that kind of bleeds things back together.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the Super Bowl is done, it's officially baseball season. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare off season because, every time I go to the Uncle Lou morning show, I'm going to be seeing people saying, "Good morning, people. Roll Tide." That's what people are always saying now, and it makes me upset.
Oh man, you can't be too mad about it, man. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that pull for Alabama that's never even been to the state of Alabama. So
90% of them.
Well, the other 10% can't figure out how to leave. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So I do want to bring up something I thought was hilarious. There is a show coming out called Florida Bama Shore. Have you seen this?
I think I've heard of it.
Dude, this looks like Honey Boo Boo at Panama City Beach. I saw that. I was like, what in the world are they doing?
It's going to be the stupidest thing, I think, ever.
I mean,
it's going to be it's going to be the lowbrow, if you can imagine such a thing, the lowbrow version of Jersey Shore. That's what it's going to be. Right. And they're all going to be actors. What's going on, Kevin? They're all going to be actors. It's all going to be a bunch of, WWE, wrestling moves all the time. That's what it's going to be. It's all going to be for show. So what's going on, Trenches, man? Welcome to the show, sir. Haven't seen you in a while.
Not much, man. Just checking it out. Wanted to hear for a second. So I had a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why is it that Florida and Mullen pulled the trigger so fast on canceling that game?
Well, why do you think?
I mean, the only thing you can think of is COVID, but isn't this the same guy who wanted more people in the stand?
Dan Mullen wanted to absolutely have it so that there were as many fans in the stand as possible because he believed that Mississippi State disregarded the rules and packed their stadium. That was his opinion. So for
Yeah,
me,
man, doesn't make sense to me.
yeah, I was like, to me, I just saw that and I went, wow, what are they doing? And there's everybody starting practice, but the reason they gave was COVID. They said the Gators expect to have fans back in the swamp during the season, but holding the spring game seems unwise. Now that came from Scott Strickland. That didn't come from Dan Mullen. So
yeah. I'm pretty sure
Like,
they're the
he
only
released-
team who's
he
pulled the
released,
trigger
like,
so far, right?
I think Georgia is, yeah. So he released a whole statement like, and by the way, this just proves how silly Florida is. Scott Strickland sends out a tweet that's got a picture of the Florida Gators mascot and the Air Jordan logo. A freaking basketball logo. Yeah. I get they do your clothes and uniform. I get that. But it's a basketball player. I mean, come on, man.
Well, it's the closest thing they're ever going to have to a goat, so might as well just put them up there.
Well, I mean, I get that. It says during the COVID pandemic, the UAA's focus has been on safely conducting athletic events against outside competition while allowing limited number of Gator fans to attend the games per UF health guidelines. Beginning this Thursday, the Gators football team will have 15 practices that will encompass 4 weeks. However, hosting fans for an intra-squad spring football scrimmage seems unwise given all circumstances, including the fact that Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is being used as a large-scale COVID testing and vaccination site.
Did you see Keith got some breaking news?
What's that? Hold on, let me see. What had he said?
Tebow retired from baseball per Mets.
He was playing?
It's a good question.
Yeah, Keith's like, he was still playing. That's the same question I had.
I actually had a question for Ballard if he's still on.
Yeah.
Ballard, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
What player? I'm pretty sure you're a big Bama fan, right?
Yes, sir.
So besides Bryce, what player are you most looking forward to checking out during the spring game?
It's going to be interesting. I think if I look at guys returning, obviously we lost Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith to the NFL at the receiving position, but a guy that made some noise, a little bit of noise, but not a whole lot last year, John Mechie, I think is going to be a junior next year. He had a pretty good season last year. I'm looking forward to maybe seeing how he steps up at the receiver position. Now, I think I really don't know as far as freshmen outside of Bryce Young. I'll have to look, but there's quite a few guys on the defense, really just the entire defensive line. We lose a few key guys, I think, with Barbour and Phil Mathis, I think, left. We lost some tackles, some guys in the secondary. So, I mean, just overall, I'm, really looking forward to seeing really just how the team does, because I think they're just going to be in one of those situations where they're kind of – I know we like to say Bama doesn't rebuild, they reload, but truly they lost quite a bit, man. They really did. So.
I got you. Yeah, I would be thoroughly concerned about the quarterback position if I was a Bama fan. And being a Georgia fan, I'm a bit of an expert on having a bad quarterback problem.
Yeah.
So,
well, who's going to take over for Najee?
What's that?
Who's taking over for Najee?
Brian Robinson.
He's
unless something happens with maybe a guy like Keelan Robinson. Jace McClellan's a key guy to keep your eye on that I've heard quite a bit about for running backs. Now, here's the thing about Trey Sanders. He did something in practice his freshman year a couple years ago, and he was out. And then last season he got some playing time. Then he was in a car wreck and really messed up his ankle, and he was out the rest of the season. And that was halfway through the season anyway. So I mean, he's had some injury issues. I don't think it's mainly his fault, because you got to. I mean, you gonna blame a car wreck on the player? I mean, but I mean, either way, like keep your eye on him at the running back position. I mean, if he's healthy, maybe he's the backup running back to Brian Robinson.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I'm pretty sure Alabama will do a spring game, and I'm sure you'll get to see a little bit there. The thing about spring games is because it's basically no contact, it's really hard to determine whether or not a running back has, that it factor. I'm also not extremely familiar yet with the Alabama's returning offensive line. I know they put a gang of folks in the NFL this year, or going to, but I'm curious as to how much they've got returning. If you don't have a strong offensive line, you're not going to have a strong run game the majority of the time. I
would fully agree with that. Two guys that I know that will most likely be on the offensive line, because I know we lose Leatherwood and Dickerson are two guys. I'm trying to think of who else. There's another guy I'm missing, but they signed these two guys a couple years ago. There's a guy, Evan Neal. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He's a 5-star. I think he got some playing time on the offensive line last year, had a pretty good impact. But again, like a guy like Leatherwood or Dickerson were key factors mostly. But Evan Neal's a guy to look out for. And then there's another guy, I think his name's like Pierce Quick. I've heard a little bit about him too. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what they can do. It's going to be really hard to tell during the spring game, what all's going on. So I'm not sure how much most of the time when you're looking at offense, you're looking at, the passing ability, the downhill, the downfield accuracy is really what I'm looking for in a game like that. And then I'm looking to see how the safeties and cornerbacks perform covering that stuff. Really kind of hard to get a read on anything else. I mean, you'll get a little bit on your linebackers. You kind of see what they're doing. You can get a little bit on your tight ends, but it's basically just fun to see them get out there and play.
Crimson Brave in the comments. Yeah, Jaleel Billingsley, which he doesn't look like a tight end to me. He looks like he's probably built like a guy like Waddle in a way. But, yeah, he's a tight end. Keep your eye on him as far as receiving weapons go next year. I know, again, we're losing Waddle and Devontae and Najee and all that in the backfield or whatever. But keep your eye on a guy like Jaleel Billingsley. I'm trying to get used to that.
Let me ask you, Brett, what time are you going to be at the stadium?
Me?
Yeah.
The night before. I'm camping out.
I don't know. I might have to leave at like 2 or 3 now just to figure it out.
Most likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to get with Keith, and we're going to put together a game plan as to what time we're going to leave and be there. I would imagine that if they're running at limited capacity, if they're running 25% capacity, let's just say, right?
Uh-huh.
There's going to be a lot of people that's going to be like, I really don't want to deal with that. At least that's how I feel. But I still feel like you're going to get more than enough people there to create a line. They typically play that, noon? Is it noon?
I thought it was 11.
Is it 11?
Is this the Georgia spring game we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, KC? How you doing, man?
What's going on?
What's up?
Same shirt, different day, man.
Yeah.
Is that a dog? Is that what that is? That's a dog.
Yeah, that's my
dog.
That's my dog.
I thought it was a hoodie that was rolled back. It's his dog. That's awesome, man.
She rides in the car on my shoulders like that.
Oh my goodness!
When I'm driving down the road, she'll ride on my shoulders.
He's got the ultimate neck warmer.
Yeah.
Does the PETA people get after you, man?
No.
I mean, I thought they were against wearing fur.
Yeah. So if it's still alive, I guess it's okay. If it's dead,
oh yeah. So okay. Well, as long as it's alive, yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, I used to have I used to have a little dog, and he was a trip. But as life progressed, he went on to that big doggy the big doggy house in the sky. So we don't do dogs anymore. It's too painful.
Man, Ballard, that poster's really starting to look clean.
Oh yeah. I don't know why. I guess part of it's a little crooked. I don't know.
Ballard.
Nah, it was fine, man.
Ballard.
Yeah.
Ballard.
Frame.
What the hell, man?
Well, with the poster?
Man, why did you go down to the Dollar Tree and get some frames? Put that thing in a frame, or do something with it. That looks terrible.
It don't look that bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on, man, he's trying.
That's what I like about Trenches. He's a terrible liar.
Yep. But hey, man, you tried it. You got something on your wall.
Man,
yeah,
come on. So, what Bama? Michael Porter asked what Bama player entered the portal.
6-year guy.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anybody really enter the portal. I don't think.
They were been there a while, right? Like from
Popping.
2016 or something.
Yeah,
I forgot his name.
Samuel Pate.
There's a bunch of Georgia fans on this channel. Most of them are Georgia fans.
Oh, it was a 5-star recruit named Ben Davis.
Yeah,
He's a defensive back.
I'm not too worried about him. He's not anybody that really played much last year.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything. I didn't even know. I mean, I had heard the name before. So, I mean, when I saw the news, I'm like, oh, we're losing a guy named Ben Davis. And I'm like, oh, I've heard a little bit about him, at least for practice or whatever. But, I mean, yeah, he didn't really get a whole lot of playing time with the defense or anything.
That's when you know you're spoiled, when you're like, oh, another 5-star leaves. That's okay.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think some of it has to be that some of these players show up and they get out there in the practice field and they realize how intense the competition is at places like Alabama and Georgia and Florida and and Ohio State and Oklahoma. And they go, yeah, I really don't want to work this hard. I'm used to being a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
And then you get there and you're the same size fish as everybody else in a really, really big pond. And so they're like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. But that's just an opinion. Sea Dog West says, Ballard, get Chess Hall to help you, sir.
Sea Dog West.
I think Chess Hall struggles with wall decorations, taking them down or putting them up. I like Chess. He's a good guy.
I asked him if I could borrow some of that blue tape. He said he ran out.
There we go.
I thought he still had some left over.
Nah, I don't know what he did with it.
He got some pretty used tape.
Yeah. Every time I hear the term leftover, I'm always taken back to Home Alone, where the Deuce Bigelow guy, what's his name?
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider goes, no, I still have some tip left over. Every time I hear the word left over.
In the
He's in
second,
Home Alone?
Yeah.
he's
Yes,
gonna
Home Alone, where he's off to New York.
ask
Oh,
Gus
not the
for
first one.
gave him gum.
Yeah.
The Trump.
So what's the name of that dog, KC?
Her name. Well, we got her. Her name was Ellie Mae, but we just call her Ellie.
Gotcha.
Don't do Ellie
Good
Mae,
thing
but
it's not an English bulldog because that thing would break your neck.
yeah.
I'm surprised no one has uploaded this video yet called "The Time when Nicholls State Almost Beat Georgia."
The time Nicholls State almost beat Georgia.
Mm-hmm. It was like 2017, I think.
Well, there was one time that we lost to Colorado, the Golden, whatever it was, the Buffaloes or something. We lost to those guys when they were terrible. Let's see, we lost to South Carolina a couple of times. But out of all the games I've lost, the ones that I hate losing the most are to Georgia Tech.
I don't know, man. I went to the homecoming when we lost to Vandy. That was rough.
Oh God, that was bad.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And Webb, yes, that is actual red paint. If you go to Home Depot, you tell them your college, and this is literally Georgia red from Home Depot.
There was a time when UAB almost lost to Alabama State.
I don't like Home Depot. I like Lowe's. Since I used to work at Lowe's.
Yeah. Keith says that time I almost won the lottery. What's going on, Stray Dog? Another one of our resident members here. Appreciate him being a member, supporting the channel.
Stray Dog.
Yes, sir. So what's it like? What's it like having been a Clemson fan, and you've seen them win? Was it 2 national titles in what, past 4 or 5 years?
Talking to me, sir?
Yes, sir. You're a Clemson fan.
Oh,
You don't like Clemson fan?
it was great. It was good. I remember that time we beat Alabama.
Yeah, I remember that too. I also remember last year when Ohio State beat you guys.
Yeah, that
was
was
rough.
rough.
I don't know if I'll ever recover from watching that loss. That was brutal.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
we can just talk about Clemson beating Ohio State from 2 years ago.
Oh, well. I guess what we could talk about is let's talk about teams that have never that our team has never lost to. How many teams do you have that have never lost against?
Clemson never lost to Troy.
The only one that cannot say ULM. But anyways.
There's just one team that I can name that Georgia has never lost to. You guys lost to last year. I believe it. I believe it was Notre Dame.
The Leprechauns.
Yep. Georgia has never lost to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame beat you guys last year.
3-0. 3-0.
Yep. I can tell by the look on his face he doesn't believe me.
We're 1-0 against Ohio State, too.
Yep. And the last time we played Clemson, we beat them. A lot of Clemson fans on this channel.
Your daughter's a Clemson fan, too, right?
My daughter is a Clemson fan, and by her own choice.
How the hell that?
Well, she is a Georgia fan, but she is also. Well, he can't pull up Wikipedia and talk at the same time, so he's double checking. I like Sam. He's a good kid. Yeah. I have that other. What's the other guy? Fusion X. He's a young Auburn fan. He's really sharp too.
Prodigy.
Yes, sir. That guy's going to be a commentator one day. I guarantee it.
Are there any Tennessee fans watching?
I didn't know Tennessee had fans.
Just a disclaimer: Alabama has never lost to BYU. But anyways,
has Georgia?
I'm also willing to bet y'all haven't lost to Georgia State either.
Yeah, right. I'm looking at a list, and it has 5 teams Bama's never lost to. The 5 teams are BYU, Stanford, Houston, Michigan State, and Washington.
See, 5 teams that Georgia has shockingly never lost to. This is just 5. Let's see.
Yeah, this was 5 teams Bama has shockingly never lost to. So I guess it's kind of. Is yours from FanDuel?
Yeah. So Georgia is the Wisconsin Badgers.
Ooh.
The Oregon Ducks. Oklahoma Sooners. The Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Notre Dame. We have never lost to any of those teams.
That's a really good
reason.
reason.
Haven't won a title since 1980. I mean, like that's pretty good for your list. Great programs.
Well, Georgia's a great football team,
yeah.
But let's be honest. Unless you're Alabama, and even sometimes at Alabama, there's quite a bit of luck involved.
Yeah.
So if we look at last year, well, excuse me, if we look at the last time that when Georgia played the national championship, which wasn't terribly long ago, it came down to, was it double overtime? And it came down to one play. A bobbled snap, a tip ball, a snagged shoelace, a divot in the dirt. All of that changes that whole game. So, I mean, sometimes a little bit of luck's needed, and Georgia just didn't have it that night. A blown coverage. Yep. How do you let a man get behind you in that situation is absolutely almost unforgivable.
Well, I mean, they explained how Tua, literally looked at the safety and moved him to the middle of the field, so he had Devontae wide open. So, I mean, he, I really think that, he caught Georgia's defense off guard in that play. But then again, like you said, how does Georgia let that happen?
Who was cornerback on that play?
Do what?
Brett, who was the cornerback on that play?
We don't speak his name in this house.
That's how.
Who was the safety?
Well, I can tell you who one of the linebackers was, but he wasn't fast enough to get over there. Roquan Smith. But if you go back and you watch that video, he was en route.
Yeah,
he was on the way there for the top of the ball.
I'm trying to remember. Was it Davin Bellamy that sacked Tua before the play?
Yeah, it was a long way.
He was running for his life most of the game.
Yeah,
tackling him every time. though. That's the problem.
I still can't go back and watch that reaction video I made on that. I still can't watch that. It breaks my heart. I'm so mad. I remember that play happening and then begging to see a flag on the field.
Right.
Never saw one. It's like, well,
I'm still. I know maybe you're going to sit there and say I have no right to still be upset about this, but I just can never let down the kick six against Auburn. Oh my God, dude! On one hand, that was a great game to watch. It was very back and forth in terms of how it happened. It was historic, I guess, because we ain't never seen that happen in an Iron Bowl. But my goodness, why kick a field goal from 57 yards out with a second left on the clock? I guess Nick Saban didn't think, oh, they can return this. I mean,
well, Gus Malzahn did.
I remember watching that game that night, and I'm like, you can't return a field goal?
Oh,
I've never seen it before, but you can. It's taking it back like a kickoff or something,
You can actually return a blocked PAT.
Yeah. And it counts for 2, I think.
It counts for 2.
Yeah.
It's just like if you were to fumble the ball while trying to go for 2 points. It's exactly like that. So
Wasn't that the same year that they got lucky against us too, right?
Miracle and Hilaire, yep.
The fourth. Yeah.
All we had to do was knock the ball down. And what did we try to do? Catch it. Ended up tipping it up into his damn hands. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Just knock it out. Why can't you
stop his helmet too and fell right into the palm of his hands,
Yeah, it was perfect. I mean, it was like it was meant to be. And
I was surprised. Oh, dang, I caught a football.
And not only that, I mean, Aaron Murray, who I hear Georgia fans talk about, was a pretty good quarterback for you guys. Really good. He had the ball last. It wasn't like that was the final play of the game. You guys had a chance, but I still – what exactly happened in the final seconds of that game that you guys couldn't go down and score? It's just too much?
Yeah, I think that when you get a play like that, it can very much deflate a team. And it's not like you're struggling to win. It's that moment that you think you got it in the bag and then the rug gets snatched out from under you. You just that feeling of defeat is sometimes hard to get 11 or 12 or 13 players to overcome instantly. And so you end up with a team that the wind's kind of knocked out of their sail.
Yeah.
And so you don't have enough time to get their head back in the game. I mean, it's just like whenever like when an interception happens. 99% of the I think the actual percentage is like 85% of the time, but 85% of the time on a turnover, the other team scores every time. So, and I think that's part of it is because you get that huge momentum shift. Nobody can get their head back in the game. It's just, they got the momentum, and that plays a big factor.
You
See,
know,
now that the tip ball doesn't hurt me as much as remember the Alabama SC championship.
Yep,
We
inside
threw it,
the
he caught it, time ran out.
well,
To me,
that ball
that was the worst.
Aaron Murray. Well, that I
Yep.
blame that solely on Mark Richt.
I wanted to spike the ball. Like, spike the ball. Spike
Well,
the
not only
ball.
that, if you're the receiver, don't catch it. Just drop the ball.
Yeah.
All right, Keith, I'll hit you up later, buddy. Have a good night. Absolutely. As far as when it comes to that game, that game proved to me that was the beginning of my loss of faith in Mark Richt, because I knew as a fan watching the game that ball the conversation should have been had, and like they had a timeout before that, like right before that they had a timeout. The conversation should have been had. If it's not in the end zone, knock it down.
yeah,
That should have been the first thing that was said when they came over there. Should have been said in the middle of whatever you said, and it should have been said at the damn end. So they heard it 3 times. If it's not in the end zone, knock it down. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run this play. Don't forget, if it's not in the end zone, knock it down. All right, guys, go out there and run this play and execute. And don't forget, if it's not in the end zone, knock it down.
yeah,
Right? And so what happens is you get a player out there playing on instinct. The ball gets tipped at the line, and Mosley catches the ball on like the 2-yard line. And he knew the moment that he hit the ground that was a mistake. There was not enough time to get back up to the line and snap the ball. He knew it. But the problem is that had he have been told, don't catch the dead blame ball, Aaron Murray inside the red zone was absolutely lethal and had been that night all night. So it was highly likely that the next pass or two, one of them would have ended up as a touchdown.
yeah,
And Georgia, that would have sealed the game. Georgia would have went on to play Notre Dame and beat the hell out of them, just like Alabama did, because in that particular year, both of those teams, both Georgia and Alabama, were built physically the same, played physically the same, had a lot of the same type of weapons and a lot of the same type places. Almost identical stats throughout the course of the year.
Plus, it's Notre Dame.
So, yeah. I remember the T-shirts being out there where it had the bulldog and the elephant standing nose to nose and a little bitty leprechaun down in the corner, and it said, "One of us will be with you in just a minute." Because
awesome.
everybody knew whoever won that game was going to beat the hell out of Notre Dame, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Bama beat them like 42-14 or something like that in the title. And I'll tell you what, so this one's pretty recent, and I've kind of heard an expression, like if you want to win a championship, you got to be tested. You got to play a close game at some point because, championships are going to be close games. But what about this year's SEC title game when Florida looked like they didn't have a single chance in heck to even compete with Alabama, and they came back and Bama won only by 6 points? That was nerve-wracking for me because holy crap, we're letting Florida come back on us. Give credit to the offense, though. They're really good. They know how to handle that. But those final few seconds, I think what happened was I think they sacked Kyle Trask, and they couldn't get to the line in time. I'm biting my nails watching this. I'm like, please tell me he can't get there. He can't get there. And the offensive line just like walked like they had nowhere to be. They just couldn't hurry, and the clock hit zeros, and I'm just like, I mean, even if they had got it off and been able to do that, I'm sure they Bama probably would have found a way to like knock it down or whatever. But I mean, still,
I think Bama just overlooking Florida, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that the way the first half went for Alabama, they thought they kind of thought they had it in the bag, and then Florida started punching them in the mouth. And then they kind of reeled a little bit, and then they kind of steadied themselves like, all right, we actually have to play over here. Yeah. And then it started to change. But Kyle Trask was a good quarterback. Pitts was the biggest weapon he had was Pitts. We struggled with that, not last year, but the year before that. We struggled. We won the game, but we struggled in that game. And then against Pitts this year, we obviously didn't win that game, but it's because we had the worst quarterback in the SEC.
Weren't you doing videos from a hospital during that game?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Actually, I was doing videos. We were having a baby.
Yeah.
And I was doing lives. Not
KC, man, I'm in a trance of that dog. That's insane that some dog can sit there that
Dog is
still
comfortable,
that
man.
long.
Bro.
I'm actually really I'm dumbfounded at how stricken you are with his wiener.
I can't help it, man.
It's a big wiener. I mean, his wiener's so big he can lay it around his neck. I'm just saying. So yeah. Well, guys, we're running on to about an hour here. Like I said, obviously I got a new job, so I got things I got to take care of tomorrow, so I can't be up all night. I really appreciate you guys jumping on. Don't forget, you guys go check out the Teespring store. You can find the link in the description. Go check it out if you want to pick up some merch. It's there. T-shirts, hat. Well, working on hats. They got a weird policy about hats. Working on some hats, plenty of T-shirts, hoodies, coffee cups, all kind of stuff. So you guys go check that stuff out if you want it. It's there. Supports the channel. We really appreciate it. If you guys have anything you want to send to me, you guys have my email address listed right below, bigdogbrett18@gmail.com. And you can find me over on Twitter at UGA BigDogBrett. I try to respond to everybody. Don't forget to go check out Third and a Mile podcast. Go subscribe to Between the Trenches. And we would love to see you guys back here real soon. Going to be doing Slob Olympics, so feel free to join us watching those shows. What's going on, Pizza Woman? I'm sorry to see you show up just now. Not sorry to see you show up, but sorry to see you show up as we're closing the show. I'm sorry. All right, guys. If you guys want to, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share. Much appreciated. Really appreciate you guys being here. You guys mean a lot to me. It really does. Thank you so much for being here. You guys have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.